up to 750 euros fine that exists in Benidorm that's never ever used, not even once, since 2005. And it has something to do with Benidorm beachfront. Ghost buildings that have more or less a clear future of disappearing in Benidorm town, but people still live in them right now as for the day of today. What's going to be happening with some of the most emblematic Gemelos building in Benidorm, the weather forecast for the upcoming week, and the upcoming events. All this and more, you'll see it in today's latest Benidorm news update. Let's go. First of all, let's talk about the tourism update shortly. We have the average occupancy of around 90% right now, which means that it is really, really busy here in the area. And it should be because it's July month, it's end of July, and July and August are the busiest months of the year. There's plenty of things to see, plenty of places to discover around Benidorm, small villages, old towns, picturesque towns, seafront, different beach areas, snorkeling, marine excursions, or maybe some kind of water sports. There's viewpoints, there's a little bit of everything for everyone here, including the theme parks that we have, 5 of those here around Benidorm. Plus, obviously, there's crafts markets, there's like accessories, clothes, even soap or natural cosmetics or pictures, a little bit of everything. You can find it here, especially at the old town and by the Poniente Beach Promenade. There's some small local celebrations. There is exhibitions of art in museum in Benidorm, and many more things are waiting for you guys here in the area if you're coming right now or soon throughout the summer, July and August months here on holidays. So quite a bit of people, even though some people say it is quite empty, but it just depends on the day once again, and it depends if it's really hot outside, and if people are on the beach or there is any kind of local market going on. People will just switch from one location to the other, which makes some of these look actually way more empty than they technically are the rest of the day. And now let's head to the main news section. Oh, there is a very interesting fine, several fines in Benidorm, actually from 100 to 750 euros. And these fines have to be given in specific occasions in Benidorm, but we do not know, and no one of whom we've asked know any single person who would have gotten this fine since 2005 when this was actually approved. So for the last 20 years, no one has ever received this type of fine. And this is why the situation on the beach is what it is nowadays, and which is why people still are posting videos about it and are talking loudly about it, and there's whole debates about it. We're speaking about putting the sunbed, the chair, or an umbrella early in the morning, 6, 7, 8 in the morning, and then just leaving the belongings out there for like half of the day, maybe even more, and then just come back whenever you please and have your top spot on the Levante Beach or Poniente Beach or any other part of the beachfront in Benidorm. There are actually fines for it, and they're here since 2005. However, no one actually gets them. And what is the real reason? These fines and this law is supposed to protect the public domain, like the public area where people have a freedom to use it. And now it's curious because whenever we say it, we think, all right, but then what's happening with all these empty sunbeds and umbrellas? There are thousands of them, the paid sunbeds, we mean, on the beachfront. What is happening with those? Because those are preventing people who want to enjoy the beach, because it's a public location, from actually enjoying it because there's no space to lay down. So you either go away or you are forced to pay for the sunbed. How is this then a public place and a right to enjoy a public place? It's not any longer, right? So this is curious that they put up fines on like a private person. When it comes for companies who are there on the beach, who are paying them taxes and loads of money, trust me, to be able to operate on the beach, all of a sudden it's all legal. And all of a sudden, there is nothing wrong of having more than 6,200 sunbeds occupying our beachfront when it's not even necessary to have that many, honestly. And why is this law even there? Well, it's supposed to be there because it kind of shows, oh, well, we care about people who are using the beach, but it's only in theory. In practice, it's not the case at all. And in practice, it's only a law that serves to somehow prevent a little bit so that people would not put it on the beach, although obviously it doesn't work any longer, but it serves to some kind of a prevention measure. uh, However, in practice, unless it's really, really, really something that's just bothering everyone, something that's disturbing the ambulances coming or prevents emergency services to actually go to the seafront, then you might get a fine. But even so, police officers will just say, please step aside, please change your belongings to this side. No one will ever get a fine, which is why the issue is still what it is, and it hasn't changed since 2005. That's insane. And also, the other thing that they actually openly talk about is the tourism. Benidorm depends on tourism a lot, so they feel like if the town hall is actually going to be putting fines for those who leave their belongings there, a lot of the times these are national tourists that have their holiday homes here and have their like holiday equipment for the beach. If they're going to start putting fines, people will just stop from coming, right? This will stop people from visiting the area. That's what they're afraid of, and they're afraid of newspapers, of social media, which is curious because people are posting all the other way around. There's plenty of sunbeds, and they cannot use the beach freely any longer or be like in a comfortable place because it's either a paid sunbed or it is go away or pre-book it at 6 in the morning. That's your choice, but you're not going to get a good spot in summer because someone's pre-booked it, or there's paid sunbeds for €6 a sunbed and €6 an umbrella that you can freely purchase if you wish. That's what is actually going on. So they're so afraid of social media, of all the newspapers, of everything that might happen afterwards in the press and social media once again, that they're just not going to be putting any kind of fines, even though there is a law that it specifically states that you're not allowed to leave your belongings without use for a long period of time. No one cares. And the town hall also does not care. So the only thing left to do is either pre-book it, as many people do, or pay for a paid sunbed, or stay right by the walking promenade because that's where the only spaces are left at some specific points of the beach by midday. That's how it goes. Let's continue with the last news for today, and it is about the iconic buildings. These are actually twin building Gemelos 28. This building had a lot of repercussion years ago, and still every now and then we receive some updates about it. This is one of those white twin buildings right at the beginning of Rincon de Lodge, by the beginning of the Levante Beach. And this building was supposed to be demolished years ago. However, Benidorm seen that it will be costing way more to demolish it, and maybe there's any other way. There's people living there who've purchased the properties there. There's rental apartments, there's touristic apartments, there's garages, there's two businesses inside, if I'm not wrong. At least like two parts of the building who are destined to be businesses. And as a result, well, the buildings were still there. However, now everything has changed because Benidorm has calculated that it actually makes more sense to demolish those buildings, even though they need to be really careful with the marine life, with the natural park. But once they demolish it, there's going to be another building which will be up to 54 floors high to be able to put the apartments back again. As for the actual owners, don't think they're just going to be placing the actual owners inside of this apartment building. No, they're not. They're calculating right now the compensation, and they will be probably doing so in the next year or two. They will be calculating the amount of compensation they have to pay to the owners of the actual building for the demolition, without taking into consideration any mortgage, any interest, nothing at all, just a bare, just like a bold price for the apartment with no extras whatsoever. and it will probably be demolished by 2029, at least October month, at least that's what's being stated now. 2029 October, these iconic buildings should be gone from Benidorm. Maybe something will happen and this process will stop, but as for now, Supreme Court and all the other jurisdictions, everyone agreed that this should be demolished. And not because the building is really, really wrong, they're seriously wrong something with it. No, that is because it is 6 meters into the national preserved area. It's further 6 meters than what it actually should be. That is the thing. That is the case. And obviously, the case of paying more taxes when new um, owners will purchase in the new buildings, the building of a new apartment a building also has its own taxes. There's taxes and taxes and taxes everywhere. And this is good for the town hall because they'll get loads of money for it, which is not entirely fair for the property owners who are there right now because they'll see their houses being destroyed. They'll get a small amount of money for it, which probably will be less on what they have to pay for their mortgage. They'll have to search for another place to live with actual prices right now for properties, which are insane, especially by the front line. And they'll see another building emerge out there with other people enjoying their that's the situation that's going to be happening, and the property owners will have to search elsewhere to live because I highly doubt that from the prices that there were previously they will actually be able to purchase the property in the same apartment building, which might cost even 500,000 or maybe even more. We will see how it goes, but so far Gemelos 28 have a very sad future in front of them, and the property owners are trying to sell as fast as they can to new owners because they know what's going to be happening, and those who are purchasing there are at a very, very high risk. So if you're planning on purchasing something there, don't, please, because this building will probably disappear in just a couple of years. Not a lot of people mention it because they just want to sell and get as much money as they can to continue with their lives and another person to have a problem with it. Let's continue with the weather forecast for today. As you all know, and some people are curious and some people are saying, does Google give us wrong information, or like other types of websites, do they give us wrong information? What's going on? Because it says it's 31 degrees outside. Some points of the day, yes, it is plus 31, and this is just the temperature. Don't forget that the real feel is a totally different thing. The actual temperatures are between 31, 34 on the sunshine. However, when you sum up the humidity of up to 80%, which today it is way better. Today the humidity is lower actually, which is good finally. So when humidity is so high, the humidity, the hot air, the sun directly shining on you, it gives you a real feel inside of your body that the temperatures are of around 40, 43 degrees Celsius. That is how you feel the temperature, right? And that's the real feel. That's the most important thing that you have to consider when coming here on holidays, because it's not the same as the actual temperatures that you can see somewhere there on the internet. With humidity, it's way worse. Trust us. Now it is slightly better, and it is true that the weather will shift towards the end of this week by Thursday, by the way. Many people say there's going to be a fall in decrease, quite a big decrease in temperatures here, and they ask what's going on. It actually might be raining, which is not a bizarre thing, but it is quite unusual at the end of July, I gotta say. There's some front that's coming from north parts of Spain through Barcelona, Valencia. It's going here down, and it's gonna reach us around Thursday. And midday and evening time, maybe a little bit at night, it should be raining in our area of Benidorm. That is why temperatures do decrease up to 27 even. That's going to be the temperatures. Real feel, we have to see what it's going to be, because if it's going to be really humid, it might be around 30 degrees still. But actual temperatures are decreasing a tiniest bit. But then starting from Friday, Saturday, these will pick up really, really fast. And we'll still have our hot July and August months out here in our area. July and August are the hottest ones. That is usual, that is typical. But when we sum the humidity to it, woo, it is not an easy time for holidays. The water temperature is more than 28 degrees, which makes it great. However, it does not really refresh yourself so much. But if you stay in the water for a long time, cover your head as well, or dive or swim inside of the water, this will help you to actually not to heat up on the sunshine as much. Drink a lot of cool water. Remember, alcohol dehydrates. Too much time inside of the seed has salt, which also dehydrates the tiniest bit. So drink a lot of liquids, water preferably, and use some natural shades, some sun hats, sunscreen, obviously, and don't stay long periods of time on direct sunlight. And have a lovely holiday in Benidorm or beyond it in Costa Blanca. Thank you for accompanying us today. We wish you a great day, great holidays, and we'll see you in a brand new video tomorrow here on the channel, Benidorm by Anna. Don't forget to subscribe if you're still not. Goodbye.